Welcome back to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Bob Pisani is our eye on the floor. Your thoughts?
11,642 is my thoughts. That's because that was the 4-year high on May 10th that we hit. Now look where we are here. We are 150 points exactly from that 4-year high. And you could thank the two things that got us there or got us going this direction in August. Interest rates, very successful 10-year auction we saw today. Yield moves down rather dramatically at 1 o'clock. Oil moves down. But look how bullish everybody is. Normally, the trade deficit at a record is not something that's going to send people into, paroxysms of excitement. It's just not generally good news. This morning, the number comes out. It's terrible. The top lines I got, Bob, look at the imports. All really strong. Yeah, of course they're strong. It's bad.
Can I throw something else into your kettle of fish? Very strong consumer. Best Buy numbers are unbelievably good.
Yep.
Buying electron, for all the talk about this and that, I'll throw the consumer into your kettle.
Consumer is terrific. But normally, I'm saying the market is now primed to be in a bullish position. When you start spinning the trade deficit, the record of the trade deficit bullish, the market's in a good mood.
Bell rings. Bell continues on CNBC right now with Maria Bartiromo.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. A triple-digit rally on Wall Street today as oil prices take another plunge. Stocks closing near the highs of the afternoon with the Dow soaring more than 100 points, finishing at a 4-month high. The Nasdaq, the S&P 500 also at their highest levels in about 3 months. The catalyst for the big move in equities is the continuing slide in oil. Take a look at the major indices tonight as we wrap up another day for stock prices. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finishing up nearly 1%, 100 points higher at 11,497. Financials and technology, the superstars of the day. Nasdaq finishing up nearly 2%. Big rally in tech, 42 points higher on Nasdaq. 22.15 is the closing price. S&P 500 up 13 points, better than 1% at 13.12. Crude oil prices sliding again. It's the 7th consecutive session that energy prices moved lower. Light sweet crude futures now below $65 a barrel, 3% lower at $63.76. First up, breaking news just involving a Dow component, Merck's Vioxx drug. CNBC's pharmaceutical reporter Mike Guckman in New York with the breaking news. Mike?
Good afternoon, Maria. That is right. The embargo just lifted on these 2 new studies and an editorial to be published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, or JAMA, and they draw conclusions that could actually affect 2 Dow components, potentially hurt Merck and help Pfizer. Now, the researchers in these studies looked at the medical records of more than 500,000 people, including tens of thousands of patients who took the so-called COX-2 inhibitors, the drugs like Vioxx, Celebrex, and Bextra, and they conclude that the heart, the kidney, the high blood pressure, and the swelling side effects are much worse with Vioxx, and that Pfizer Celebrex, in commonly used doses, does not increase, and in some instances even decreases those risks. The authors write in JAMA that Vioxx was associated with increased renal or kidney and arrhythmia or abnormal heartbeat risks. And perhaps most significantly, though, that it looks to be just a Vioxx problem. Also thinks that these results could hurt Merck's chances of bringing its hoped-for Vioxx successor called Arcoxia to market in the United States. And there is no doubt, Maria, that plaintiffs' lawyers are going to use the strong language in these studies and in that editorial I mentioned to try to bolster their cases in court. Back to you.
All right, Mike, thanks so much. We will certainly be watching those stocks tomorrow. And, of course, today on Wall Street, Merck was very strong. Let's go right back to Wall Street. Bob Pisani, our eye on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with all of today's details on that rally. Bob.
And it's a very simple thing, Maria, and you don't have to understand much more than this. The 2 things that made it a rally in August helped us today. Oil dropping in the middle of the day and interest rates dropping. The yield on the 10-year moving down again after moving sideways for a few days. A very successful 10-year auction. That's what helped it. On top of that, we got some buyers down here. Volume finally picked up. Finally, I had been waiting for a week and a half. New highs even expanded. In other words, the market internals were particularly strong. We did 1.8 billion shares down here today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average 4-month highs right now. Thank you very much. 11,642 was the May 10th 4-year high. We are now 150 points away from that 4-year high. The NASDAQ also moved up 3-month highs. Did the S&P 500 make it? 13. We're sitting right there. Essentially, we too are at 4-month highs on the S&P 500. We had a nice cyclical rally. Transportation stocks had a great time today. Technology stocks, material stocks that had a terrible time yesterday had a good time. Consumer discretionary had a great time as well. What didn't? Energy stocks got killed again today. Take a look at some of those transportation stocks. Obviously, lower oil rates going to help you out. Lower oil prices going to help you out. Continental, FedEx, anything having to do with moving things around the country had a great time today. Triple-digit gain for the Dow Jones Transportation Average. We also had a nice move up in those material stocks. Remember yesterday, tough day for anything related to commodities as commodity prices came down, but today they saw more value in a lot of those stocks. So your classic big names in the steel group like U.S. Steel, Nucor, Alcoa, Phelps Dodge, Freeport-McMoRan up right across the board. Remember, this commodity moving down, interest rates moving down, all moving and helping out the U.S. consumer. Maria, back to you.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. Let's get more analysis now on the rally in stocks. Joining me now is Abby Joseph Cohen.